The Golden State Warriors have sad news for Jonathan Kuminga. As you all know, the Golden State Warriors have been playing without their starting small forward Andrew Wiggins, and finally he is making his way back into the starting lineup very soon. But this also means that Jonathan Kuminga, who has been playing very good as of recent, is going to be taking a back seat and restricting his minutes in order to make way back for Andrew Wiggins. As saddening as this is for Kuminga, Steve Kerr has actually said in a recent interview 3 things that Jonathan Kuminga must continue to improve on in order for him to get more minutes and also help this Golden State Warriors team win another championship. So we're going to be going through those 3 key elements that Jonathan Kuminga must master, and we're going to be going through that. So make sure to like this video, and if you want more Golden State Warriors content like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hitting that red button down below. But let's get straight into the first improvement Jonathan Kuminga must make, and that is continue to shoot a high 3-point percentage. Now this is something that hasn't really been a part of Kuminga's game, but Kuminga can definitely shoot the 3-ball pretty consistently. But when it comes to the standard of the Golden State Warriors, it's not up to par. Currently, his 3-point percentage is actually 28%. To put that in perspective, guys, the league average is roughly around 30-32%, so he's not far off, especially due to the fact that he isn't a main 3-point shooter. However, he definitely can improve in this category due to the fact that players such as Steph Curry, Andrew Wiggins, and also Klay Thompson are all averaging almost 40% from the 3-point line. So Kuminga definitely has a long way to go, but I definitely think he is able to get there. If we look at so far this season, he has had a couple of games where he's shot more than 5-6 threes per game, and he's averaging around 35% from the 3. So when he does get enough shots, he's definitely shooting a high percentage. He definitely needs to continue to shoot more because there are a couple of games where he doesn't even take a shot. So far this season, he has had a couple of those games, and I think consistently shooting on a regular basis, whether it's 1, 2, or even 3 3-point attempts, will be great for Jonathan Kuminga moving forward. A great example of why I think Kuminga can definitely get a 3-point shot is due to the fact that we've seen Andrew Wiggins become an all-out scorer over the past couple of seasons. As you all know, when Andrew Wiggins first came into the league, especially with the Minnesota Timberwolves, he was not a 3-point shooter. His 3-point percentage back then was actually 22%, guys, so very, very low. If you look at the current season that he is in right now with the Golden State Warriors, guys, his 3-point percentage is 45%. Yes, guys, you heard that right. 45%. He actually has the highest 3-point percentage in any of the Golden State Warriors players, even higher than Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. So this is honestly huge, and to put that in perspective, guys, he's also shooting around 7 3-points a game. So he's not only taking 1 or 2 3-points a game, guys, he is literally chucking them up 6, 7 threes, 8 threes a game. His highest was actually 10 threes, and he actually made 7 of those, so he shot 70% in that game. So Andrew Wiggins has had some crazy games, and that's why I think Kuminga can definitely get a jump shot. Kuminga is definitely Andrew Wiggins 0.2. They're almost the same height. Kuminga is actually 1 inch taller. They're pretty much the same weight. Kuminga is actually 5 to 10 pounds a bit heavier. So there are a lot of things, a lot of similarities between these two, and I definitely think Kuminga can definitely learn that 3-point shot, whether it's off the dribble, whether it's on the dribble, because I think when it comes to what he's capable of doing, Andrew Wiggins has been able to show that, and I think Kuminga can definitely take suit to it. The second big improvement that Steve Kerr wants to see from Jonathan Kuminga is for Kuminga to become a pure scorer. Now what I mean by this is, if we look at the second unit, guys, there are a lot of great players such as Dante DiVincenzo, Jordan Poole, JaMychal Green. You know, we also have now James Wiseman coming back off the bench. However, when it comes to this second unit, they have seemed to be struggling to get a bit of a rhythm, especially when it comes to the offensive side of things. If we look at Jordan Poole is a great scorer, do not get me wrong, but he definitely can't provide all the scoring for that second unit. He definitely needs help, and with Kuminga, that is definitely something that he can be looking at. If we look at Jordan Poole so far this season, he's actually averaging 17.8 points per game, which is really good to see. But when it comes to that second unit, they have recently added Draymond Green more into that second unit due to the fact that he's able to actually not only just score, but also be able to play make. And Steve Kerr has made it known that they definitely need someone to step up in the scoring category, and Kuminga can definitely be that guy. So far this season, Kuminga is only averaging 6.8 points per game, and I do think he definitely needs to push those numbers up. Definitely into the 10 to 15 range would be perfect. When we look at the couple of games that he has been playing with Andrew Wiggins off, he's definitely able to score. There is no doubt about it. He's had a game recently where he went off for 25 points and only had 25 minutes played. So he definitely can score if he's given the opportunity, and I think efficiency is where Kuminga definitely needs to work on if he's going to be able to drop, 10 to 15 points per game. They don't need him to drop 30, 40. That's Stephen Curry's job. That's Klay Thompson's job. but for him to be able to get 10 consistently or even 15 would honestly bring back Golden State Warriors to their winning ways and help them back into that number 1 spot in the Western Conference. Jordan Poole definitely needs help, and Kuminga can definitely be that guy. He does stand at 6'8", so we could see a lot of pick and rolls happen. And going back to the first point as well, this is why I think 3-point percentage and 3-point shots are very important in Kuminga's game. If he's able to get that down, guys, we can definitely see his scoring go up from 6.8 points, which he's averaging right now, to much higher. So there is a lot to it, but when it comes to having a scorer, Steve Kerr definitely needs that for that second unit, because the second unit actually has been struggling when it comes to late games, and that's why we did see a huge hit from losing players such as Gary Payton II, Otto Porter Jr., and also JTA. Although they all are great defensive players and Kuminga is a great defender, they all were able to score very consistently, whether it was from the 3, whether it's inside, but they were able to give you to 10 to 15 points, and that's something Kuminga definitely still needs to improve in. The third thing Steve Kerr said Jonathan Kuminga needs to improve in is definitely his consistency. Now, this is something that probably isn't as evident, but I think Kuminga, when it comes to his consistency and efficiency, because I do think those go hand in hand, he definitely has some work to do when it comes to putting games together and stringing great games along. I think this is very important because as Jonathan Kuminga is a role player, you don't have as many opportunities to score, many opportunities to play great defense, and all of these things. You do only have a couple of minutes on there, so you got to make the most of it, especially due to the fact that you're not getting 35 minutes per game. And that is hard to see because when it comes to, players such as Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, they got all the time in the world and they unfortunately have the green light, which is something that Kuminga doesn't. So he definitely needs to work for every minute he gets, and every second he's out there, he definitely needs to put up stats on the board. If we look at his most current games, guys, he's had games where he's getting 17, 25 minutes per game, but he's only getting 1 to 2 points per game. Those are the types of games that he definitely needs to improve on and be able to score more consistently, whether it's 5, 10, 15 points, but he definitely can put up more than 1 point in 20 minutes of game time. And if we also look at other categories such as rebounding, he does a very consistent job of. He definitely needs to do that with his scoring as well, and also with his assists. His playmaking is subpar, and he does only get about 1 assist per game, which isn't too high due to the fact that Kuminga roughly in the same position as Wiggins, and Wiggins is actually averaging 4 assists per game. So Kuminga, I definitely think, is able to string along some great games and be able to do it at such a high efficiency. If he's out there for 20, 25 minutes, Kuminga can definitely get 10 points, a couple of rebounds, a couple assists, and maybe 1 or 2 steals. And I think that would be a great game for Kuminga because he is definitely someone that they are looking forward to when it comes to that second unit. He needs to be a trustworthy guy out there, and that's something Steve Kerr needs for this team. That's what Gary Payton II did, that's what Otto Porter Jr. did, and that's what JTA did. So this is definitely something that Steve Kerr wants from Jonathan Kuminga moving forward. He is still very young, and I don't want to give him a hard time. I think he's a great player, and he is fantastic. He does have a little improvements he needs to make, but overall, Kuminga will be a great player in the future.